Asperger's syndrome, which is also known as Asperger's, is a developmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication, along with restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior and interests. Children with Asperger's syndrome do not have deficit in language or deficit in overall intellectual function. They are often seen as having trouble with making friends and are often misdiagnosed for having obsessive-compulsive disorder, which is also known as OCD. Some of the symptoms of Asperger's syndrome are intense interest in atypical things such as zip codes or phone numbers, clumsiness, not willing to change routine, fascination with globes and routes, for example, the route that they may take to school that morning, difficulty understanding others' feelings, extensive vocabulary at a young age, and they are often seen as perfectionists. There are many instructional strategies for children that are diagnosed with ASD, but here we listed just a few. It is very important to have a routine because children diagnosed with ASD feel the most comfortable when they have a routine. For example, have an everyday greeting, have a special startup activity, as well as at the end of the class, have a certain way that it is ended. It is also important to give students fewer choices. Students with autism can become easily overwhelmed when given many choices at once. Instead, select two to choose from for the students. Another strategy is to find the student's thing. If you can find a way to incorporate things that the students are interested in into the lesson, it will go much more smoothly with more attention being given. For example, incorporate music if the students are interested in music, or find certain types of stories that the students are interested in. It is also important to use symbols or commands to transition. Students with autism often struggle with transition. An example of this is, when I say move, we will. This lets students know that the topic in class is about to switch gears and gives them time to prepare for that. There are also many accommodations that can be used for students with ASD. For example, using a choice board that does not have very many options so that the students can pick the activity that seems most appealing to them. This allows the student to pick the activity that they want to engage in the most, which will lead to more attention being given during that activity. Another accommodation is creating a daily schedule of daily activities that can be made either with pictures or a short bulleted list if the student can read. This allows the student to transition much easier throughout the day. Using a visual timer such as a kitchen timer or a digital timer on the board lets the students know when an activity will be ending in order to prepare to transition to the next one. This helps the students because they do not feel overwhelmed when there is a transition and they know when it will happen. Now it's time for an activity. Since students with autism benefit from routine, it is important to have a schedule of daily activities. Listed to the side are two examples that children with autism would be able to follow. By yourself or with a partner, try to come up with your own examples. The first example for arriving to class reads like this and also has pictures in each box. Take off backpack, take off coat, hang up coat, open backpack, take out note for teacher, close backpack, hang up backpack, give note to teacher, sit in seat. There are many situations that you can make examples for, like going to lunch, getting back from lunch, or going to recess. Here listed are the references that we used, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation on autism spectrum disorder.